Abdullah, 10-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. 10 years.
Congratulations.
Kind of crazy. Time flies. Let's flip through the book. So I haven't seen these pictures before. So this will be my first time. So 2015, I think it was July 2nd, 2015, I get appointed as executive director for DMZ. I never imagined how I even got to the place I got to, right? So starting off my career in the military and then kind of shifting all the way up to DMZ, it was a lot of unknowns of how you get there. But once you're there, you realize that there's a purpose in place for you to deliver value for the people that have now kind of put you in this position. I worked in hospitality for so long in my life, and I realized provide service excellence in the space that you're actually operating in. It's about how do you make people feel. We used to joke that we wanted to be the Ritz-Carlton of incubators and accelerator programs globally. So we took on implementing structured programming. We called it the Accelerator Program, brought on some of the best and brightest founders in the country, putting founders first. And that was truly the core of why we all wake up and come to the DMZ and do the work that we do. The second value is equity over everything. Innovation isn't reserved for one particular group of people, and DMZ was committed to bring everyone along that journey. And number three was about mindset. It was be great and being the best at everything that we touched, both here and abroad. What that kind of signaled to us was that DMZ was a space where things were happening, and it was a cool place to be. And whenever we had dignitaries or obviously royals come to Canada, DMZ was always top of mind. And then you start to see that reflect from his brother, Prince Edward, to even the Crown Prince of Luxembourg and the Crown Prince of Norway. We've had every living Prime Minister and Premier come to the DMZ. I've always loved Toronto. I'm a big fan of the city. My famous line was always, Toronto's the best city in the world and the best country in the world. 2019 was a moment that I think we all were proud of, and that was the year of the champions. And then you fast forward to more recent activities. Two of my favorite guys actually, and we had Freddie at the DMZ through our Amex partnership, and we did a whole massive kind of thing on the wall here for him, writing Bet on Yourself, and he came and signed it with us. And then Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. Just recently we did a partnership with his foundation, PS43, and Google, and we had a chance to kind of have a fireside chat with him about innovation and sports and just his personal life, and very humbling. This picture here signals the first ever launch of the DMZ Advisory Council. I was a young guy then, and you're sitting down and you're going through this binder of 500 names, and I think we did a pretty great job in putting together some of the best people. Then we brought on our new team, actually just this past year, and the fact that they want to support the DMZ is even more humbling. A year into the role, DMZ gets named as the best incubator on planet Earth, and we were so excited by this news. One of the greatest moments for me, for the team. I looked up, remember going up on stage, and I look up, the staff were all there and they're going wild. Full circle moment, you kind of look at it, this is 2015, 2016, and now I'm on the board actually with UBI that helps global organizations, incubators and accelerators, and it kind of tells you something, that DMZ was able to really, against all odds, a small Canadian incubator becoming one of the biggest and best in the world, and one of the biggest names is now setting the tone for others to be able to reach the benchmark that we've reached. This page, the whole page actually kind of maybe symbolizes one of my favorite moments of my entire life. I get an email from some folks in the federal government saying, Abdullah, you've been selected to join the Governor General of Canada, David Johnston, on a mission to the Middle East. I can't believe how lucky and fortunate I was to be able to go on this trip. I'm Palestinian and I'm also Jordanian, and it wasn't about just going to my country and actually spending the time. The fact that I got my parents involved. My dad's now passed. He passed away in October of 2023. We came here in 1990 and left their comfort zones, left their families, left everything that they know is normal, is an insane amount of risk. And you want to talk about, being entrepreneurial in a way, that's probably the core of it. And I think my dad just standing beside me and David and my mother and kind of going through this moment was incredibly fulfilling. Top left-hand corner is the opening of our New York office, and we opened up the office in record time, and we brought down our president and our chancellor and the consul general. It started the itch for global, for DMZ, and our ability to kind of take this brand and the maple leaf and what we represent and go to all around the world with it. And I'm seeing here pictures in Bermuda, our office in Cairo, now our office in Japan, our office in Innisfil, Ontario, testaments of the work that's been done here at the DMZ and the people that have contributed to our organization's mission. In 2019, our journey to launch the first ever Black Innovation Program in this country, what was meant to be $400,000 raise became millions of dollars, an investment in Black entrepreneurs across this country. So you go from left to right and you start to see the amount of work and the amount of energy that was done to build this program, which is now the benchmark and the biggest program in this country, supporting the most amount of Black founders and entrepreneurs and youth. 2020, I had the good honor of being brought on as the CEO of DMZ Ventures last year in June. We were able to launch the fund, and the fund, a small one, sends a message to the community that DMZ is also putting money where its mouth is, and we believe in supporting early stage, seed stage companies. One of the factors that play into this is you look at the success of your entrepreneurs and what they've been able to do, and breaking $1 billion of funds raised was huge for us. Now we're well past $2 billion, close to $3 billion actually. That moment of being able to raise $1 billion was a ride, a thriller for us actually. And everybody's chasing this thing called unicorns, right? Everybody wants unicorns and they want to figure out how to reach first, billion-dollar valuations as fast as possible, at any cost possible. And the camel, in my mind, is such a strong animal. First of all, it's real relative to a unicorn, but it represented three things in terms of character. Number one was resilience. Number two was being thoughtful. And number three, it's withstanding the test of time. And it was about building this camel mindset that not only we would apply to support our founders, but actually how DMZ would begin to operate. These pictures here, we ended up kind of taking on this camel as almost like our mascot at the DMZ, and we started to 3D print, I'd probably say well over maybe 5,000 camels, from tiny little keychains all the way up to a 7-foot 3D printed camel structure that was then used for all sorts of conferences and events across the city. And then below, so this is the coronation medal that I was given by Teresa and David Johnston. And then on the right-hand side, I get a call saying, Abdullah, we're launching a new magazine called Third Culture Individuals, people that are from one place, then move to another place, and move to another place. And it gave me a chance to reflect on my entire story, my life story actually, about where I came from, where I am, and what matters today more than anything else. I brought the magazine home and I put it on the coffee table. My son, who at that point hadn't turned 2 yet, kept pointing at it and kept saying dada, and he has no idea what he's looking at, but I know that maybe one day when he's old enough, he'll flip the magazine and read the story and realize that he was the centerpiece of my newfound purpose in life now, about why I do what I do, and why life has become so much more fruitful in it. The best part about this, that the story and the journey doesn't end. This is the continuation, that maybe the next 10 years are going to be just as fruitful, just as challenging, but also just as rewarding. 10 years, it's been a hell of a ride, and just forever grateful.